Let's talk about something most men have wondered about but rarely discuss openly. What actually happens to your partner's body when she swallows your semen? I'm Emma, and today we're going to separate myths from facts and take a real look at what this can mean for her body, her emotions, and your relationship. This isn't about whether she should or shouldn't do it. It's about understanding what is really happening so that both of you can make informed choices that strengthen your connection. Because the truth is, this isn't just about her preferences or your ego. It's about biology, psychology, and relationships. Most men have no idea what's actually happening inside her body. Before we continue, I want to ask you something. Have you ever wondered what is actually happening inside her body when this occurs? Or have you simply assumed it's no big deal? Let me know in the comments if you've ever really thought about it. Now, let's start with what physically happens when she swallows. You see, semen is not just a fluid. It's a complex biological substance containing natural compounds that may influence mood, bonding, and even sleep. When she swallows semen, some of these compounds enter her system and may affect her brain chemistry. These include substances associated with bonding, stress reduction, trust, and relaxation. This isn't magic, it's evolutionary biology. Think about it. Reproduction has always been one of nature's highest priorities. If semen contains compounds that encourage emotional bonding and help a woman feel closer to her partner, that would naturally support reproduction. Her body recognizes these signals, and her brain responds accordingly. Depending on the emotional context of your relationship, that response can be quite powerful. For many women in healthy relationships, this experience can create a deeper sense of intimacy and connection with their partner. It's not just physical, it's emotional as well. Accepting something so personal from someone she trusts can carry significant psychological meaning. But here's the important point. The emotional context matters far more than the biology. If she's in a relationship built on trust, respect, and genuine desire, this experience can deepen your bond. Her body may release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which can help her feel closer to you. However, if there is pressure, resentment, or emotional distance in the relationship, the exact same act may lead to feelings of discomfort, humiliation, or being forced. Her nervous system knows the difference between intimacy and obligation. The chemistry may be the same, but the meaning behind it changes everything. Now, let's talk about what research has actually found. A study from the State University of New York at Albany reported that women who had regular exposure to semen showed fewer depressive symptoms than women who consistently used condoms. Researchers suggested that this might be related to mood-influencing compounds found in semen that can be absorbed by the body. Several studies have also suggested that semen contains substances that may promote relaxation and better sleep after intimacy. There is even evidence that regular exposure to a long-term partner's semen may help improve immune tolerance, essentially helping her immune system recognize your genetic material as familiar rather than foreign. Some researchers believe this may play a role in supporting healthy pregnancies over time. But once again, these findings point toward one common factor: long-term consistency with a single partner. The biology appears to reward stable, committed relationships, not casual encounters. So, if you're in a committed relationship and this experience feels meaningful to both of you, there may be emotional and physiological benefits for her. Semen can transmit sexually transmitted infections, HIV, Herpes, chlamydia, gonorrhea, HPV, and hepatitis B can all potentially be transmitted through oral sex. The risk is generally lower than vaginal or anal sex, but it is not zero. If she has cuts in her mouth, gum disease, mouth ulcers, or a sore throat, her risk can increase significantly. There is also a rare condition in which a woman can be allergic to semen. This can cause itching, swelling, and, in severe cases, difficulty breathing. It's uncommon, but it does happen, and some women simply experience nausea or digestive discomfort afterward. Sometimes that's physical. Sometimes it's psychological. Either way, her experience is valid. So, if this is something you're interested in within your relationship, here's what you need to know. Know your sexual health status and get tested regularly. If she has cuts, sores, ulcers, or gum problems, she should avoid this activity until those issues have healed. And if she experiences any signs of an allergic reaction, she should stop immediately and seek medical attention. The truth is, this is not something that should ever be expected or demanded. Any potential benefits only exist within a context of trust, emotional safety, and mutual consent. Some people call semen a superfood. That's simply nonsense. Yes, semen contains small amounts of protein, zinc, and vitamin C. But the amount in a typical ejaculation is nutritionally insignificant, far less than what she would get from a single bite of fruit. No one should be swallowing semen for nutritional benefits. That's not the point. And by the way, if you've learned something today that most people never talk about, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us continue creating honest conversations about topics that actually matter. Just subscribe and turn on notifications. That's it. The real question isn't whether she should swallow. The real question is what it means to her within your relationship. If it's based on mutual respect, genuine desire, and emotional connection, it can be a powerful bonding experience with meaningful psychological and possibly physiological benefits. If it's driven by pressure, obligation, or emotional distance, it can quietly damage how she feels about the relationship. This isn't a moral issue, it's a relationship issue. Her body knows the difference between intimacy and obligation. Her nervous system responds differently depending on whether she feels safe, respected, and desired. So the real answer isn't found in the act itself. It's found in what that act means to her. Now tell me, what surprised you the most? Leave a comment and let me know. And if this gave you a new perspective, be sure to hit the like button. I'm Emma, and I'll see you next time.